Hey guys, it's Zach or Zencha from ZenchaMusic.com, and welcome to part 2 of my How to Mix Electronic Music video series. And in this video, I'm going to give you a practical demonstration as to how I mix music. And I'm going to show you how I mix something. I'm going to mix a song I have here. It's completely unmixed right now. All the volume faders are set to 0. All the pans are in the middle except the sounds that I specifically want in the left and right, which would make no sense to have them in the middle because I want them wide. I have my ritual juice. It's tea. I've checked to make sure that I have nothing on the master output. So the master compressor and reason is off right now. And then I have nothing in the master section. Good. So you don't want anything coloring the sounds as you're mixing it. You want to do that after the fact. That's mastering. So what I'm doing right now is I've selected the chorus, and I'm just going to have it loop. Well, let me play it for you first so you can hear what I have to start. So that's the loop, unmixed. And now, I know that I like to mix with my Mac volume at around 5 or 6, with these little white blocks at the bottom. So I'm going to set it there. And I'm going to put everything to 0. I like to mix from silence up. Although, actually, I will keep my sidechain here up at 0, because what that is that's a kick that I have routed to the sidechain compressors in my setup, but not to the master output. So what that does is it lets me put sidechained hits, not necessarily where every kick hit is. Let's say you have like a ghost kick hit that goes ba-bum, and I only want the sidechain on the bum, not the b. By having it as a separate instrument, I can have a lot more control, and I can have it only sidechain the bum and not the b. So, is it looping right now? Yes. I'm gonna bring in the kick. I start with the percussion first. I personally prefer going percussion bass up. You can do it however you want. And I'm taking note over here of the peak meter, because when mixing, you want to make sure you don't get it too loud or that it clips. You don't want it clipping at all. You don't want it hitting 0. So I'm just making sure it's not too loud when I bring in my first sound. About 6, 8, 6, something like that is where I'm going to have the kick, and I'm going to bring in the snare. So louder things appear closer and quieter things farther, which makes sense because if you were in the world in real life and a sound happened near you, it'd be loud, and if it happened farther, it'd be quieter to you. Mixing is basically production, is basically tricking your brain into thinking things sound how you want them to sound, and volume does a lot of that. So I'm gonna bring in the hats now. I'm gonna pan that. Now these pan decisions are arbitrary. I'm putting them where I think I want it to sound. I don't want everything in the middle. That would just get cluttered. You could do that as a thing, as a style, but I'm choosing not to here. So now I'm doing the bass. Bringing that up where I think I want it. Where I like it and where I want it, because it's subjective, it's art. Raise my breaths. breaths. And then the guitar. I'll pan that a little bit. I'll make my kick a little quieter. I actually don't have any sidechain happening, I think, right now. So I'm gonna listen. I like it. Now, if you notice, I have other sounds here that I haven't raised yet. These four are not being used right now, actually. So I'm gonna go to where those sounds are, which is in the outro bridge section here. Loop that. Taking a peek over at the peak meter over here. I see it's not pushing much farther than 4. That's good. Want to keep it between... You want to keep the... As much as I hate rules of thumb, somewhere between like -3 and -6 is probably your best bet for getting ready for mastering purposes. I tend to push it to -3. So I'm just listening and adjusting how I want it to sound. Now the beatbox, that's in the previous section. See, because I'm doing a song where most of the same sounds are playing throughout, by just mixing the initial chorus, I pretty much got the spacing of where I want things to be volume-wise. So I'm going to listen to the verse now, just to make sure that it did carry over to the other section. It's sounding pretty good. The guitar's a little louder than I wanted it to be. Sounding pretty good. Now, I don't do much, if any, volume automation. In this track, this is the only instance right here where I'm actually doing volume automation. And that's the result of the volume automation here is to reduce the energy and make it more subdued. So I'll play that part. Really takes it down there. And that's the only volume automation that I'm actually doing in this track. You could do more if you deemed it necessary, but I don't. And this is art, so I do what I want. Now I'm going to listen to the last section because I know it sounds different than the others to make sure that my mix choice is carried over. Sounds good to me. And that's mixing, and that took like 5 minutes. Mixing it's really not that difficult. It's it's simple. Like it's volume, it's panning, and especially since it's electronic music, it's even easier. Thank you for watching my 2-part video series on how to mix electronic music. Do you know somebody who struggles with mixing? If so, go ahead and share this video with them. We need to spread the idea that mixing is a part of the creative process of creating music. It's not such a technical thing. And remember, if you sign up for my newsletter below, you'll receive a free ebook on mixing guidelines and principles to help you get started on mixing, to help point you in the right direction. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. I miss you already.